Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Teresa and fellow of my friends. So, this video will contain the ethics and social responsibility. So, here's our group members. And my name is Farah Nabila binti Mama Yusri and I will present for this video. So, stay tuned. Before we start, we'd like to show you the video that we choose about ethics and social responsibility. So, let's watch together.
Hello, welcome to a video about ethical and social responsibility.
This video illustrates the way how businesses manage and uphold ethical and responsible standards and the importance in having them and why they are vital in the success of the organisation. So let's start. What does ethics and social responsibility mean? Well, ethics is a set of moral principles that determines what is right and wrong in terms of an organisation's behaviour. Nowadays, most ethics are important in the success of an organisation. Social responsibility is an organisation's obligation to act for the benefit of societies at large, like supporting charities and helping to eliminate poverty. Managing an ethical and socially responsible business is important. In doing so, organisations will not only meet but exceed expectations, create a positive image for their brand, increasing profitability and making the environment more friendly, and also attracting the interest of customers. Despite the positives, businesses tend to lose the interests and motivations of employees if expectations are not met. It also takes time and money in implementing new ethical and social responsible initiatives, which can be complicated. Employees may also experience difficulties in keeping up with changes in standards created by society. So how can management assist in achieving these standards? Admitting to failures helps management in establishing a strong connection with employees, which also improves communication. Management needs to also be proactive in identifying changes in society, in readiness to respond immediately. Managing a business is fun, yet has many responsibilities. The things that management needs to consider is that the success of organisational goals are under their control. Management also has a responsibility in employing the right people for their business, and acting as a guide to apply ethical behaviour. Management is important because without them, responding to failures to the changing nature of society will be difficult and can be impossible. Some of the ways that management can prepare for future implications is establishing programs and training new employees about ethical standards in their business. Regular changes and updates in these standards can also help in reducing implications that may come along the way. Now you can see that managing an ethical and social responsible business is important and deeply influences all aspects of any organisation.
So, have you enjoyed the video? So now we move further. The goal of business is to get the maximum profit for owners and shareholders. That is a simple statement that does not describe how companies can and cannot go about their business. The pursuit of profitability does not give company the liberty to override the law or harm individuals in the process. The two terms are often used interchangeably, but they have different meanings. First, let me explain about the ethics in the businesses. Ethic is the belief that the ethical standard of a country is based on the culture and moral concepts like universal application. Ethics come from the Greek word which is ethos, which means moral character. Ethics means knowing the difference between right and wrong and continuing to do right thing. Ethical decisions can be based on your conscience or based on principle. In either case, individuals make their own decision according to the laws of the land or according to their core beliefs. In a business sense, corporate leaders must follow the right behavior to benefit the good of everyone, including the shareholders, stakeholders, customers, and the community. Business activities should not harm people, products, or services, and they should help to protect the reputation of the company. So next, we'll move on to the social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility or CSR can be defined as the actions of a firm to benefit society beyond the requirement of the law and direct interest of the firm. Societies set their own acceptable norms. To be successful, businesses have to adhere to social norms and expectations. Some values have eroded over time and that has left no moral compass to guide leaders through complex dilemmas of right and wrong. That means that businesses are on their own to decide the ways that they can best demonstrate social responsibility and give back to their communities. Furthermore, it is difficult to provide a list of responsibilities since the social, economic, and environmental expectation of each company based on the desires of their stakeholders. The stakeholders and the non-governmental organizations seek for a greater attention to the CSR. This group insists that the MNCs to be more responsive regarding with the issues like concerning about working conditions in the factories or service centers. As we can see, the area of the ethics has a lawful component and implies right and wrong in a legal sense, while social responsibility is based more on voluntary. So now, let's see the pros of social and ethical behavior. So first is meet and exceed expectations. Based on the ethic theories and philosophy such as utilitarianism, which is a form of consequentialism. This theory was given its most famous modern expression in the works of Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, both of them whom emphasized the greatest happiness principle as their moral standard. Utilitarianism is an attractive perspective for business decision making, especially in Western countries, because its logic is similar to an economic calculation of utility or cost benefit. Sometimes many Western managers are accustomed to doing. We move to the next point, which is positive brand image. This is very important for MNCs to have. Positive brand image shows that our MNCs is exceeding the customer's expectations. It also enhances the goodwill and brand value of an organization, and this indirectly will increase customers' interest. To sum up, we will gain profitability by having positive brand image. So the last point is create desirable workplace environment. Human rights issues present challenges for MNCs as there is currently no universally adopted standard of what constitutes acceptable behavior. It is difficult to list all rights inherent to humanity because there is considerable subjectivity involved, and cultural differences exist among societies. But every owners of MNCs should protect their workers by giving them their basic human rights at least. Some basic rights include life, freedom from slavery or torture, freedom of opinion and expression, and a general ambience of non-discriminatory practices. So, now we know the pros of social and ethical behavior. If we have pros, it must have the cons, right? So, let's see the cons of social and ethical behavior. Social and ethical behavior can make you loss of interest and motivations. This is often happen to the workers, especially when they feel threatened. The workers also tend to not having interest or enthusiasm for work. It can happen when there is violation in the MNCs. That's why MNCs should have protect them with their basic human right, like I said earlier, or else it will affect the operation of MNCs. Next cause of social and ethical behavior is costly, timely, and complex. This can happen from many aspects. It can happen toward the workers, but these cons are basically faced by the owners of MNCs. Why? It's because their lackness of ethics behavior. Is every MNC should be able to forecast their MNC future in perspective in order to reduce cost and time. And by forecasting, MNC can have the best decision making and results. Okay, now the question is, how can management be socially and ethically responsible? The management should be admitting the failures so that it will establish the strong connection with the employees so that it will not affect any issues regarding to the businesses. Management also should have to communicate openly and truthfully so that it can improve the communication between the employees. If the management do so, it can help the organization to face any issues regarding to the businesses as a teamwork. The management also need to find the changes regarding with the society for them to ready to respond with the society's expectations. Okay, now let me take Apple company as example. Introducing Apple. Apple was founded by Steve Jobs in 1976. The current CEO is Tim Cook since August 2011 until now. Apple is a multinational technology company and it does innovative consumer electronics. Let me share what is Apple's CSR commitment. Apple is committed to the highest standards of social responsibility across our worldwide supply chain. We insist that all of our suppliers provide safe working conditions, treat workers with dignity and respect, and use environmentally responsible manufacturing processes. Our actions, from thorough site audits to industry, leading training programs, demonstrate this commitment. This is what Apple states on its website. Apple focuses on supporting an eco-friendly environment such as recycling phones, using safe equipment for Apple's engineers, providing training and classes, conducting interviews to prevent workplace bullying, also minimize greenhouse gas emissions. So why Apple's CSR failure? One of it is lack of stakeholder engagement strategy. Apple simply doesn't believe it needs to engage with stakeholders. So for example, there are pollution issues in China, right? So manufacturers of apples from China whom are constantly facing health issues that are caused by pollution and unsafe working conditions. 8,000 workers were put to manufacture over 10,000 iPhones a day. Workers were given only a cup of tea and a biscuit for 12-hour working day. Now in 2012, Apple had to introduce labor reform regulations for its manufacturers due to public pressure over conditions in its factories stemming from a comprehensive report from the Fair Labor Association. Now we move on to the management implication. First, objective and goals relies heavily on management. The goals and objectives need a good supervision from a management in order for them to come true. A good management with a comprehensive planning, organized ideas, and strong leadership will keep the business progress on track, which will deliver an excellent outcome to the business and vice versa. Second is management control who they hire to suit their objective and purposes in order to achieve the goals, and a set of complicated and challenging tasks must be executed. To get the task executed in a way that the management desire, they need an employee who are perfect cut for the given positions. That's why management control who they hire to suits their objective and purposes. Third is management behave as leader management, set the direction of a business so that the employees know where to direct their effort. Management also train and motivate their employees so that the employees could be efficient and becoming a valuable asset to the business. Fourth is management guide employees to behave ethically and becoming socially responsible. All business have their own rules and regulations where certain things are expected to stay within their boundaries. It would that employees' behavior during the working hours and prevent any disciplinary deviation. A good business shall not just profit-oriented but also care about people around them. Most of big businesses these days do corporate social responsibility to give back to the society. By involving their employees in the program, it trains them to become socially responsible. So, from our video presentation, we can understand the concept of ethics, social responsibilities, and human rights have differences impact for everyone. Second lesson that we learn is the importance of corporate social responsibility. We know that good CSR can give positive impact from the image of company. We also can pay attention to failures and become a better from what we know. Lastly, from this video, now we can aware that MNCs should have at least protect their workers with a basic human rights. As for conclusion, There are some of the ways which management can prepare for future implications. Establishing an ethics management program and training new employees about ethical standards in their business. Regular changes and updates in these standards can also help in reducing implication since it is important to the success of the organization.